but let me know when it's done, okay, Tony? Hello, everyone, and thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to Dr. Judy WTF, What the Freud. And today I have a very, very special guest with me, a mentor of mine, teacher of mine, somebody that I have known for a very, very long time. And we stay in touch, and then we don't stay in touch, and we stay in touch, and we don't stay in touch, but we're never really out of touch. And this was a big one for me because as some of you know, I'm a big believer, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm a believer in coincidence. And I had Avner on my mind, and I didn't do my usual, hi, Avner, how are you? But you know what? The universe did it for me because I was waiting at my chiropractor's office, and there he was. And so we were literally face to face with each other. And the first thought was, you know what? This is a very important person in my life. We're on a same path, which is revealing light to the world. And the God or a source or universal source, whatever you want to call it, you call it what you will, brought us back in touch, and I'm convinced that it is to reveal more light to the world. So we're going to enter into a conversation. This is Avner Madar, Kabbalah teacher, a wonderful teacher who follows a system of connecting with source energy. And Avner, thank you so much for coming on my show. And I hope
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad and I'm so excited to be with you.
Yes.
And with our guests tonight.
Yes, and Avner, I would like to have you share a little bit because when I went to the Kabbalah Center, it was very different than my usual typical connection with the religion of Judaism. Many of you know that I'm Jewish. I mean, come on, Dr. Judy Rosenberg, it would not take a rocket scientist to figure out that I'm Jewish. And for some reason, I couldn't exactly connect to the religion part of it. Not that I'm opposed or not that I'm disconnected from it, but my mind has always worked along the lines of a system of healing. And I just want to share another coincidence with the audience that you are unaware of, Avner, which is before I went to the Kabbalah Center, which was too long ago to talk about, because I'm only, 26 years old. So if I say people will do the math too quickly. But see, I had a dream before I went to the Kabbalah Center that there was a place with wooden benches, lots of wooden benches. And it was a place where my mother was there. My mother is way deceased. My aunt was there, and she said that you're going to get married at this place. And I didn't know what that meant to me because, marriage, there's a person involved. But in this case, I interpreted that I'm going to be reunited with Source. And then when I walked into the Kabbalah Center, it looked very familiar because there were the benches. So this dates back about 20 some odd years ago, just to inform you that I'm not 26 years old. Okay, so with that said, Avner, if you could please explain the difference between religion and a system.
I can talk about the difference between religion to spirituality. And I have to say that I have nothing against religion. Religion can be great. However, I was never felt any connection to any religion simply because that I was searching for something much, much deeper. And for me to connect to something deeper, it is actually to connect to myself, to connect to my true power, and to know that if I will elevate my thoughts, my consciousness, I will be able to change my reality. So Kabbalah is teaching us. Kabbalah, again, is an ancient spiritual wisdom. It is actually so ancient that from Kabbalah there are many, many branches that came about to teach us how to live life, how to manifest my limitless potential. So the first thing that we're learning in Kabbalah is that within each one of us, there is a limitless potential, limitless light. And that light, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, is being covered, is being concealed. And now we have our spiritual journey to reveal it. And we know that the best way to reveal something is when it becomes concealed, right? So let's say that I'm searching for a soulmate, or I'm searching for more abundance, or I'm searching for joy and fulfillment and happiness, and I want to be healthy, and I want. The most amazing part of Kabbalah is that the word Kabbalah means to receive, lekabel, to receive. So it's all about how to receive it all. It's not about how to disconnect from fulfillment. It's the other way around, how to receive it all in a balanced way, not in a way that, oh, I have it, and now I lost it, and now I'm lost. And I just read yesterday something about a very successful business person that sold his company for $3.5 billion. And the next day, or maybe a week after, very short time after, he said that he becomes so depressed because now he is actually having so much money, but he doesn't have a purpose. He's waking up every morning and he's searching for a purpose. So even to connect with your purpose, you need to reveal it. You need to earn it. You need to search for it. And that's what Kabbalah is all about, really, to help us to connect to our purpose, which is, again, to reveal the limitless light that exists within us. And of course, we will talk about the light force, the light force of the Creator, but not in a way that not in a way that religion is teaching, but the other way around. That the essence of the Creator, the essence of the light, is one of sharing. The light force is all about sharing. And so whenever we are going through any challenges, we need to reveal the light within the challenge. And the light force is actually standing on your right side and is doing everything to help you, to support you, to give you all the guidance. So all what we need to learn is how to become closer and how to connect to that force, to that light force that can remove any form of darkness from our lives. And that's basically a very quick explanation about what is Kabbalah.
So thank you. That to me is the essence of Kabbalah, is connecting to the source. And so there are different methodologies people use. Some people pray, some people meditate, some people go out in nature to connect to source. There's so many pathways. Does it truly make a difference what methodology we use, or should we follow something? Because, everybody has their book of wisdom, okay? So there's all kinds of major religious scrolls and so on. So how do we really know? Because it's very important to me to follow a pathway of truth. And by the way, today's topic is the consciousness of freedom. Consciousness of freedom. And in the context of that consciousness, of course, we want to be free to pick our own pathway, but we do need to look up to something. I call God, so to speak, source, the big download, the universal download. And I've always wanted to plug into the big spiritual computer, so to speak. And so in order for us to do that, we have to have our consciousness in the right place. So going back to my question, is it important to follow one brand of connection over another? Yes, no, and why?
No, you can follow any spiritual path or any religion that you chose or maybe it was chosen for you. It doesn't really matter. What matters is your intention. So let's say, two people are praying right now to the Creator. One of them is praying for, let's say, for sustenance. Both of them are praying for sustenance and abundance. One is actually asking the Creator, help me, show me what is it that I need to change. Because the Creator is giving you endless abundance every day, endless sustenance, endless light and blessings. The question is, why can't I see it? Why can't I reveal it? And the answer is that my consciousness is so limited, so I cannot really receive that endless. And I'm actually manifesting maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 5% of what the Creator wants to give me. It's even a joke, right? It's not even close to 1%, because if the Creator is giving you endless light and blessings, and for some reasons my consciousness is limited, let's say I don't feel that I'm worthy. Second, I think that money is not going to make me a spiritual person. The third is maybe I need to go through some process of transformation and change. So then I will be able to expand and grow. For example, we know that money, or the energy of money, is based on your desire, right? Everybody wants, but to say I want, it doesn't mean that you really want. Because I can say, I want to improve my relationship with my wife. I really want. But what am I doing about it? Nothing, very little. So I went and I got some flowers. I said, let's talk. Let's have some conversation. I'm not passionate about it. It's not something that I will do like with so much desire and excitement, because I don't really want it. The bottom line is that I rather have my comfortable. I rather sit on my sofa and be comfortable and have my wife somewhere. And that's about it. I'm not really good. I don't really want to become closer to her. All what I want is to improve, but I don't really, it's not a yearning. It's not a real desire. So Kabbalah is teaching us how to expand our desire, how to grow our desires. And it's so powerful and it's so unique, because desire is something that we meant to grow every day. So again, many powerful tools that we can share, maybe not tonight, but hopefully we can share one tool today. But that's the essence of Kabbalah.
It's so parallel to, you mentioned a few things, the limited aspects of ourselves, which I talk a lot about from a psychological point of view in my mind map, which I will bring back up in a little while. But basically, psycho-spirituality is probably the best definition of how I like to express my light. Because I am a psychologist, I'm deeply searching for meaning of life, elevating my consciousness. And so when you talk about limited desire, when we are raised in a family that hurts us, wounds us, neglects us, all kinds of disconnections from our mind, body, soul, then we interpret those disconnections to mean that something is wrong with us. So I have a new interpretation now that we're talking, and thank you, Avner, is that what we do is we put our parents before God or source. Okay, our parents are important figures, but if they're not doing a very good job, we have to go above and beyond their horrible messaging to us, so to speak, if that's what's going on. You're stupid, you're not good enough, you don't matter to me, you're not important, you're a loser. We have to rise above that. And when we're children, we look to our parents as our God. And we cannot do that because they stem from somewhere too. There's always a source. So that's one aspect of those shadows that you talk about that don't reveal light. is also tied to our psychology because we're limited. And one great example that I love to bring up is the example of fleas in a jar. You know, you ever see fleas in a jar? You have a little cap and you punch holes so they can breathe, and they're jumping, they're hitting their head against the lid, and then you take the lid off, and guess what? Guess what? Any guess, Avner, or
They
anyone?
don't believe that they can jump, that they don't believe that they can get out of the jar.
Thank
That's
you.
that's what I
That
would assume. Yeah.
100%. And that's where we can tie in the consciousness of freedom, because now those fleas or us or whoever or whatever is conditioned to be limited. So that would be an example of a real situation where we are limited. And if we're limited in our mind and we do not believe that we matter, we do not believe that we're powerful, we do not believe, then we basically squelch our desire, because desire for what? We're not worthy of the desire. So
Absolutely, absolutely. But nevertheless, we want to awaken that consciousness of freedom and to understand that being a victim of my parents, being a victim of my childhood, which is absolutely right. Of course, the parents maybe didn't treat me the right way, or I was maybe under their, limiting beliefs that caused me to think that I'm limited. But it is something that I'm carrying within myself, and therefore I was born to that family. So the root cause is never the parents. The root cause is never my childhood. The root cause is never my ex-wife. The root cause is something within me, and that's exactly going back to the intention. The intention is I'm taking charge over my life, and any form of chaos, which means darkness in a different way, in different language, let's say the light versus darkness. So being connected with the light, it means that I am acting like the light. We all know that, kindness, sharing, caring for others. Wow, that's amazing. But our nature is the opposite. I want just to take. I can be nice, I can be kind for the sake of really taking. By the end of the day, I'm a taker, I'm not a giver. It's like you can say, be with the person for one day and see, look what is really doing, like how much time is that person investing towards sharing and caring, and how much time is investing towards taking. Unfortunately, many times when we give and when we share without the right consciousness, so we are staying within the frame of I'm a good person. Good person is not the ultimate, is not the purpose of our lives, to become a good person. You're a good person, so big deal. Did you transform? Did you change your nature? Did you elevate? Did you grow? Are you moving from one level towards the next level and the next level? Again, in every aspect of life. So the key word is change. The key word is transformation. It's not about religion. It's not about a victim. It's not about, let's talk about your childhood. I can talk with you about my childhood, and I can see people that their parents were great parents, and they actually grew up in a very bad way because of their limiting beliefs. And I see children or see people that grew up in a very bad family, very bad parents, but they didn't give up. They knew that it's not about the parents. It's not about my childhood. It's about my own transformation. We came to this world, according to Kabbalah, to change. To change what? To change my nature. From being selfish, from being from having the desire to receive for oneself alone, to transform it into the desire to receive for the sake of sharing. And therefore, we have that force known to us as the ego. And the ego is the biggest desire to receive for oneself alone. And we are not even aware about our ego. Our ego is is making us smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until the end of the journey. That's it. What do you think, that when people are leaving the world, they feel like, wow, great, I've done everything. No, I didn't really manifest anything. Why? Because I gave so much energy. I invested my energy towards selfishness, and towards my ego. So now the intention, and by the way, we're entering into a very powerful period of time. No, it's a cosmic event known to us as Passover, which is about to happen this coming Saturday night. Tomorrow is Friday. Saturday night, there is a cosmic event, Passover, not connected to religion at all. Not connected to religion at all, but it is a window in time where we can achieve total freedom and transform our nature and expand our desire. And so we need really to maybe to say, yes, I love religion, but if I'm not really transforming and changing, so what's the purpose of my religion?
So for those of you who do not celebrate Passover, it's also Easter Sunday, right? What happened there? I think.
No. Yes. I'm listening. Yes.
Put back the video part.
Yeah. Of course. Give me just 1 second. Continue. I'm listening to you.
So for those of you who celebrate Easter, I think what Avner is saying is that there are cosmic portals to higher levels, cosmic portals. And one of these portals Avner's mentioning is the energy of Passover from the point of view of tapping into something that is more limitless. Now, are you there?
I'm with you, absolutely.
Okay, so being that there are other religions or other forms of expression of portals, and I don't know if you know anything about Easter, but it is, in essence, I'm going to talk about it metaphorically. It is about a rebirth, okay? So Jesus dies on a cross. He sacrifices his life for humanity, and he takes on the, as you would say, the tikkun, okay, which is all the negativity of the human race, so that he can cleanse the slate for the human race as I understand it. Okay, so this is another pathway where if you're Christian or Catholic, you would be identifying with a pathway of connecting to Christ consciousness so that you can cleanse your slate through the sacrifice that Christ brought to mankind and reach salvation. Is that your interpretation? Or I know you don't exactly study it, but
I respect it. But again, going back to the real purpose, to the real deal, I need to change.
Okay, no matter what.
So is Jesus is going to do the work for me? Absolutely not. Is Moses is going to do the work for me? Absolutely not. Maybe they can support me.
Yes.
They can give me some guidance and support from above. Absolutely, yes. But if I am not going to awaken a greater desire to change, to transform, to grow, so I will get stuck. And I will get stuck and I will stay at the same level forever. And that's not the purpose of life, according to Kabbalah.
So I want to bring up something that you mentioned, which is that we think we're growing, like we're a nice person. Oh, how nice. I brought my wife flowers, or I brought my grandson some chocolate, or
right.
I'm nice to him. I take him out for dinner, or I buy my granddaughter a new toy or dress. Okay, I'm being very nice, but you're asking of each one of us to expand
the question is, what are you doing when people are annoying you, when you don't have time, under pressure, when push comes to shoves, and how do you behave? Are you the way that you behave today is different than the way that you behaved a month ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago? If the answer is yes, wow, great, you are on the right path. If the answer is no, I'm reacting the same. So basically it is just a sign, just like a sign that I need really to do something different,
So I
to
want
do
to
my
make
spiritual work in a different way. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make an acknowledgement that most of my audience knows about is that my mind map is a direct expression of my study of Kabbalah. And when I started studying Kabbalah, I had a very, very passionate desire to join the human race and heal global disconnect. And so I was sitting, I don't even remember where, and I drew a doodle. It was a little something.
Yeah.
Okay. And I could show you guys because I have it here. I could open my little doodle book and show you. But it really was. And it was a 9-panel doodle. And I want to mind map what Avner said and the parallel between global disconnect, human disconnect. It's all disconnect and connect. That's why my book, Be the Cause, is healing human disconnect. Okay.
Very, very inspiring book. Very inspiring book.
Thank you. And you can all have a free copy of the PDF of this. Just ask and you shall receive. Okay. Just have desire to connect the dots. And this is very parallel to what Avner is talking about. And I want to mind map everything that we've talked about so far, if that's okay with you, Avner.
No, sure, absolutely.
Okay, so if we look at the mind map and we look at panel number 1, so look at the light. So from a Kabbalah point of view or psychological, but it works the same. The light is our source energy. It's our unlimited potential. The darkness is our limitations. From a psychological point of view, it could be our wounds. From a desire point of view, it could be that we're not really having enough desire to reveal light. We're being sort of superficial about it, but we're limiting. Or it could be those fleas that didn't jump because they've been conditioned not to, as we have been conditioned to live in a little box. So this would be the starting the inception point. The separation between the darkness and the light, as I learned from my Kabbalah, tell me if I'm a good student, okay, Avner, is that God, the source, on purpose put a separation between us and the light so that we're not spoiled little brats just receiving. So because we want to be elevated, we want to become like source energy. So that's our part to work for it. We have to work for it. Okay. So panel 2 would represent a crack in our consciousness. If we're not connected to our light, then we crack up. We're disconnected, the damage begins, and then panel 3, the encoding, we're encoded with, as Avner mentioned, selfishness, ego, misinformation. Okay, now let's track that and see what happens. Misinformation causes panel 4, 5, 6, which is chaos, defenses, which is our world getting locked in psychological prison, which is what we're talking about in essence today. We're locked in psychological, spiritual prison. We're getting smaller, more egoic, and we're not growing. And at the end of that pathway, we're either going to have a breakdown or a breakthrough. And psychological examples of these defense mechanisms could be all of our horrible habits: drinking, smoking, porn, the addiction to cell phone, which is a painful thing for me to talk about because I have a little bit of that myself, reaching for this stupid cell phone and, watching the next generation on it. But if we don't break through our defenses, and if we don't get out of our comfort zone of small desire and expand and elevate, then we are really headed for a breakdown.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So it is like the journey of the soul.
Yes.
And the most important thing is to know that we are limitless. Our essence and our true nature is unlimited. So if I know that I'm unlimited, so how can I reveal it? And what should I do like every day? And what is it that I need to do, like in my consciousness? How can I elevate my consciousness to really to make sure that my fallings are not going to take me down? So remember, fears, sadness, depression later on, negativity, anger, all of those forces exist to give us a free will. But it's not a decree. It's not your destiny. You are not destined to be depressed. You're not destined to be lonely, right? Your destiny is amazing. And I'm not psychic. I'm just saying, because that's the foundation. That's the thought within the thought of creation. The Creator is all about sharing endless light and blessings with each one of us, regardless your religion, regardless your belief system. The thing is that we need really to change. We need to grow. So I'm really want to emphasize the idea that if I am, if I know and I'm seeing myself like the way that I behave today, okay, a driver cut me off and I was very angry. Okay, I have some anger issues. I want to ask how to overcome it, because I cannot overcome it on my own. Because anger is like fire. It's the energy of fire. I cannot really overcome fire with my mind. I need really to go into meditations, prayers, and being the cause, not being the effect, remind myself and ask for help. The Creator, the light, God, I really need help to overcome my anger. No, it's her fault. It's his fault. Look what she did to me. Who cares about what she did to you? How do you want to solve it if you are still in a victim consciousness? So this coming Passover, and by the way, Passover, it will always fall on the middle of the month of Aries. Aries, according to Kabbalah, represents the biggest desire to receive. So on that night, on the 15th day of Aries, which is Saturday night, the light of the moon and the light of the sun are equal, only on that night. And again, we are not worshiping the sun and definitely not the moon, right? We know that the Creator created the light of the sun, the light of the moon. The light of the sun represents the spiritual realm, and the light of the moon represents the physical realm. So when there is like a unification between the spiritual and the physical, then of course on that night, on the 15th day of the month of Aries, we can really get extra support. You mentioned support. Yeah, I need support. I need so much support. I'm desperate. I am desperate for support. Why? Because I know that I cannot really do it on my own. I know that my ego is going to make me smaller next year. And I know that my ego is going to make me to diminish my desires. In 1 year from now, if I will let my ego just take charge, again, what does it mean take charge? Blaming, complaining, not elevating my consciousness, not being happy, not manifesting my limitless potential. So in 1 year from now, maybe I will live at the same house, I will have the same sofa, but my desire are going to become diminished, which means that I will have less motivation and less excitement. Living life without excitement, without joy, without really waking up every morning with tremendous joy, that's something that we need to think about it, that we need to ask for it, because you deserve it, regardless what you went through in your life. And then again, if I'm willing to take charge and I'm willing to manifest, which means to earn the light, I cannot just pray and cry and just to say and complain about my situation, about my chaos. You know what she did to me, you know what happened, you know the economy situation, you know what's going on do you know what the president is? It's like we are always talking about external and we are not really focusing on the internal. And if one of the indications that you are focusing on the internal is that you don't have any space in your mind to look what's wrong within the other person, what's wrong in the external within the situation. No, I need to look inside of me, which is the most difficult thing to do. To look inside and to ask, I want to be more open to my soulmate. I want to ask for, to expand my vessel for more sustenance. I want to get rid of sadness. Sadness is not a cool thing to be sad. Is not something that you can afford to be sad. Even if it's part of the day. Half of the day I'm sad, half of the day I'm happy. Why? Why can't you be happy like for the entire day? Because we think that joy and happiness is something that, something that might happen during the day, maybe once I'll get into my next vacation or who knows when. Only when good things are happening, so then I feel some joy. But, in just an ordinary day, just a nice day, but I'm not that happy and excited. and that's the whole point of Passover. That's the whole point of Passover, to remove the layers and layers of pain, of sadness, of negativity, of limitations, of selfishness, of the ego. And that's why, by the way, the matzah, which we call it unleavened bread, is a special, special item, special food that we eat. It's called matzah. So at the moment that we mix the flour with the water, we cannot go more than 18 minutes. 18, the numerical value of 18 is chai, which means life. So we are infusing within the matzah the consciousness of life, of the tree of life, which means joy, happiness, excitement, and revealing my limitless potential. Why? Because if you let the water and the flour grow, again, so the dough is that small, and then after 2 or 3 hours, the dough become much bigger, and that represents our ego. I know, I think, it's me, it's my money, it's like we're taking, credit. It's like we think that it belongs to us, but that's something that we should really ask every day. Is it really belongs to me? Is the money really belongs to me? Is my health belongs to me? Is my family really belongs to me? Or maybe it was given to me so I can use it for the sake of sharing. I can use it for my spiritual work, for my spiritual transformation. Your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your friends, your family, your work, your talents, your strengths. Everything was given to us so we can really manifest our limitless potential. So going back to that consciousness of freedom, freedom means be the person that you're meant to be. Don't settle for less.
So you bring to mind 2 concepts that I talk about a lot. One is curse by design, which is the darkness that I believe is my gift, but it's not very pleasant. Okay, it's an unpleasant gift that elevates me as a person. And I've had plenty of those. And when I recognize those to be a curse by design of the maker, it reveals a lot of light. That's what I personally like to do with it. I might, as Avner said, it's not good to be sad or angry. Yeah, I get sad, I get angry, I get frustrated, and then I always turn to I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to fail forward, and that's very inspirational to me. And so I'm going to use this horrible negative situation as a curse by design. So one of the things that people struggle with, because they're here, there are actually people in the audience right now who are wanting answers. Like, how do I tap into this joy when I'm leaving a relationship? How do I tap into this joy when I feel so lonely? How do I tap into this joy when I'm feeling sick? How do I tap into this joy?
Focus. Just focus. Right now, the relationship is a disaster. There's so many issues, so many challenges, so much chaos. Focus on what is it that I can do right now in a proactive way at work, with my family, even though the situation is very bad. Focus and start really to make even a plan. How can I really transform this darkness into light? And there is no doubts. Don't even have a doubt that it is possible to transform any form of darkness into light. Once you will start to focus on your own transformation. Okay, so for example, my wife doesn't appreciate me. My family don't appreciate me. At work, I'm working so hard, and people are not really appreciating me. Simply because, again, can be that I don't appreciate myself, number one. Number two, if I will be focused not on what other people think of me, and I will focus on doing the work, not just the spiritual work, the physical work as well, waking up early every morning and doing and initiating and manifesting and focusing on that, people appreciate someone that is focusing. But when you are all over the place and you want to, just to get the approval from others, and you want to be nice, and focus on your own transformation. Focus on manifesting your limitless potential, even if it's going to take some time. But people appreciate when you are focusing. But when you are all over the place and just live your life and let life be, whatever. It's a good day, it's a bad day. No, I'm taking charge and I'm focusing on my spiritual transformation. And then you will gain so much respect that you might say, wow, too much respect. So this is just like one example of how to transform darkness into light.
This is the true meaning of freedom. One of the lessons, again, that I learned from Kabbalah is shut down your reactivity.
Absolutely.
Shut down, and that's the amygdala. From a mind map perspective, your reactions are your primitive brain: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. So we have to do the best that we can not to react, even when we are feeling those things, and then let in the desire, as Avner's talking about, to manifest the highest part of ourselves. So if we're still reacting to the traffic and reacting to the person honking at us, and it's not different than it was last year, we have that. There's our measure of what we have to do, is to make sure that our reactivity is dialed down and that we're connecting to more than just, I'm uncomfortable or I don't like that person. That's a pretty low consciousness, isn't it?
And everything starts with your morning. How is your morning looks like when you wake up in the morning? Like, what are you doing to establish your day within your consciousness? You can meditate, you can think, you can visualize your day. It's important for me today to be the cause and not to be the effect, for example. And I can visualize my meetings, my time with my family, my time with my wife. I can visualize it. I can visualize, that the challenges will come, but I will still be proactive. And I can visualize people that might hurt me, and I will still be able to be proactive and reveal my light. It doesn't mean that you have to let people, continue to hurt you, but it means that you need to really to come from a proactive place, from a proactive consciousness. And remember that there is no any excuse in the world to hurt another human being. If you're at the moment, according to Kabbalah, again, at the moment that you are hurting another human being and you have a good reason, usually it's nonsense. That reason is not real reason. It's the ego that is telling you that person deserves, that I will go and hurt him and I will try to take more money. It's like, so many times, when we go to work, we are going to take and not to give. So if I am using the receiving, if I am actually being attached to the what can I take, less and more than what can I share, then you are not balanced. So not to hurt anyone, to be proactive, to be the cause and not to be the effect, not to hurt any human being. So be careful. Even if you say a joke, be sensitive. Maybe that joke can hurt that person. Even if the person is saying something and you want to say something to show that person that you can hurt him as well. Don't go there. Don't go there. Just, stay and elevate your consciousness. And that will reveal your endless potential. Endless potential is to become like the Creator. And the Creator never, never hurts anyone. The Creator will never cause any pain to anybody, not just human being, not to animals and not to the trees and not to the angels. The Creator is all about sharing.
So how do you, sorry.
No, please, go ahead, Judy.
I just wanted to, because we're all thinking this, I'm sure. Well, then if the Creator doesn't want to hurt, why are there so many?
Selfishness.
Bringing it upon ourselves is what you're saying.
No. First of all, look at look how people behave, like towards each other, and then multiply it by thousands, millions, and then billions. Okay? So if the majority of humanity is about being kind, it's about being, towards kindness, being kind, sharing, caring for others, wow, then you will see that the economy and no more wars, no more bloodshed. Absolutely. So it's all about the energy that we are creating around us.
So
okay?
Therefore, that's very powerful because, people come to me and go, oh, what am I supposed to do about the world situation?
Go and volunteer, go and share something. Go and be busy with sharing. Now you have like today, tomorrow is Friday. What are you going to do on Friday? You have a beautiful day tomorrow. Are you going to care? Are you going to share? Are you going to, to come from a place of kindness? That's, again, we don't see the connection. We think, yeah, if I will be kind, but everybody around me is so mean. So why should I be kind? You should be kind because that you want to transform and you want to connect to the realm of miracles. You want to connect to the realm of the tree of life. Think about your own life. Don't be Mr. Nice Guy that, I need to care for the world right now. Take care of your own consciousness, and you will see that by doing so, you can really impact the entire world.
So therefore, you're saying the locus of control, so to speak, spiritual, physical, all of it is within ourselves, and don't put it in the hands of others. No matter what's coming at us, we have the light in us, and we have the ability to desire outcome for ourselves and not be concerned about how others are going to treat us. It's what we do. I have this saying, it's not what happens to us, it's what we do with what happens to us.
Absolutely. So I drove, I think like maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Tuesday. So I drove to the Kabbalah Center. I was supposed to give a class, and there is like a very narrow road, and that my parking is over there. It's not my parking, but I park there. It's the Kabbalah Center parking. So all of a sudden, a big car came with a woman that was the driver, and I guess that she was very upset. So usually you have to to go a little to the right, and the other driver is supposed to go a little to the left, and then you can make it, no problem. But she didn't want to move, and then she did like this, like she stopped the car and she did like this. Now I have a class to teach, right? I'm about to do something positive, something very spiritual. But on the way to do something spiritual, there is a test or a great opportunity for me to overcome anger, to overcome my reactive consciousness. And actually, I was the first one that drove. So basically, she was supposed to give me, she was supposed to go, towards the left and let me pass through. And then, both of us will be happy. No, she didn't want. Now, is that a coincidence, as you said, Judy, at the beginning of our talk show? No, it's not a coincidence. The light force, the universe, you name it, sent that lady to really give me like an opportunity to be aware, to overcome anger, to overcome my reactive consciousness. So that once I realized it, again, it took me like 2 seconds, because the first second was what she's doing. Why she's doing like that? Why she's doing it? I don't understand. The second, maybe the third second, I realized, wow, it's a great opportunity for me. So I drove back. I said, please, you can go. She went. She was like she felt that she won. She is the strong. She's strong. You know, she's very strong. Okay. Now again, that's her life. I cannot control her reaction. I cannot control her spiritual whatever journey. I can control mine. And when I went all the way to my parking and went to give the class, I was very happy. I was very excited, because when you are overcoming your own negativity, you are creating an opening for more light to come into your life. We should really remember that. Yeah.
Such a beautiful, beautiful example. I want to ask off of this example something that I deal with my patients quite often, which is people pleasing. Since we're talking about the consciousness of freedom, there are many people who might come from the consciousness of people pleasing. So could you please, and I know you can do this, describe the difference between backing up and letting her go, because you're in the consciousness of people pleasing, which I think is a negative consciousness. It's a lower level, versus the consciousness of revealing light. Can you please
Definitely. If you are a people pleaser, maybe you should really go out of your car and say, please, ma'am, I need to drive. Okay, because you always need to go against your nature. So it's not about what I did is not an example of I did the right thing. I did the right thing for me. And for you, might be something totally different, okay? So for example, you are sitting in a meeting, and usually you like to talk, to gain some approval, to gain some respect, to show people that you know. And for that kind of person, it's better to say, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'll wait for people to ask me. You'll be surprised. If you're not going to say anything, people will come and ask you questions. People will feel that, wow, you have great energy. Why? Because you overcame your selfishness, because usually you talk out of selfishness. And for a person that is a very shy person, he is afraid to say a word. He's like so embarrassed. To overcome his embarrassment and to say something is the right thing to do. It's all about going my comfort zone. It's all about going against my nature for the sake of sharing. Because when I'm going outside of my comfort zone, I'm in a zone, I'm in a mode of sharing, versus staying in my comfort zone. And that usually is leading us towards selfishness.
So may I then re-ask a difficult question of, you're right, that it's person by person. It is shutting down your reactivity and doing the opposite of your nature. So now let's do the same scenario. Let's say that all your life you've been a people pleaser, and here comes this lady and she's going, I'm not moving. And you're thinking to yourself, I want to overcome my people pleasing nature.
Yeah, if that's the case,
how would it be different?
If that's the case, again, what I realized is that it was, that case was to overcome another layer of anger, because usually when people are annoying you like that, people are taking your time and you don't even know them, your first reaction is to be angry. Even if you cannot solve the problem, but you get so upset. And I realized that my issue was to overcome anger in that moment. But if a person is a people's pleaser, of course, the right thing to do is to go and to confront the other person and say, you know what, please, it's I have the right to go, and please go to the left. And again, what will happen if she will say, no, I'm not moving? Now, you have to make sure, again, because if you'll get angry and you'll get upset, you lost it. Okay, but if you did what, you did your first reaction was, okay, be proactive. Now, I don't want to please anymore. My boss, my wife, my husband, my friends. No, I'm not going to please, because pleasing is all about selfishness, is actually receiving. You're not giving anything. Okay, because of our fears. And so the fear is something that we can overcome by knowing that a fear is an illusion. Because try not to please the other person, and the other person will say, you know what? You're fired. Okay. I came from a proactive place, and my boss fired me. Okay, great. Now the Creator will open a much greater gate for you to find your next job, or to find your next relationship, or to find true friends.
So this is so powerful because, again, we can't just say one size fits all. When somebody's coming down the street and blocking your way, then you shut down your anger reactivity and you let them pass. Because for a people pleaser, the challenge, the blockage, so to speak, is to express the proactive against the nature that's blocking the light, which is to confront.
Absolutely, to confront in a proactive way.
We have to recognize the difference between that. It's very important.
And by the way, to confront, you have to, it doesn't come naturally to people who are pleasing. And again, we need to make sure that even if I'm about to confront, I'm doing it in a proactive way. So step number one, I'm not coming from a place of I'm not needy, and I don't say, I must say it right now. No, if you feel that you must say, you're still in a reactive mode. I don't have to say it. I can wait for tomorrow. No, but tomorrow it's going to be too late. It's okay. I'll take another day to relax and to come. Number two, to come from a place of love, to come from a place of sharing. Then you can confront anyone. You can confront your wife, your husband, your boss, because once you are coming from a place of love and sharing, the other person will feel it right away, because people don't listen to the words that you are saying. People feel your intention. People feel your heart. And if you are coming from a place of ego, so your boss will get upset and actually will bring everything that he wants to say about you. So from confronting my boss or my wife or my friends, it will actually can turn against me, because I came from a place of neediness, from a place of my ego. So you need to be proactive. You need to go through a process, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 3 minutes, and sometimes 3 days. It takes some time to really come from a place of love, and to make sure that the other person is open to listen. He wants to listen. If the person is not open, don't go and confront anyone. Wait for the right time. It's not just about the right words and the right intention, also the right time. You see, it's not easy to confront others.
So there's so much juice that we're talking about. I so love our conversations. They're always very elevating to me and very synergistic. I know we only have a couple of minutes, but I do
wow.
Yeah, no, that's what happens when we're having so
much fun.
Revealing and fun. And I just want to end on the note of, this is Avner Madar. He is a very powerful teacher at the Kabbalah Center, which is a system of healing that inspired my mind map, that inspired it on 2 levels, global healing and individual healing. And I'm always glad to be connected to the consciousness of a system as powerful as Kabbalah. I hope you will come back, because we have so much more to talk about. I know it. Okay?
That's for sure. And I really appreciate you, Judy, and appreciating your the time and the effort that you are willing to invest for the sake of sharing wisdom, sharing tools, and inspiring others. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. And just on the a very positive note, I feel like our conversation has really been a panel 7 conversation. If you could just put up panel 7 as our last image here. We are synergistic in our conversation. We're not trying to prove who's right, who's wrong, who's better, who's smarter. We're genuinely searching for the light, the truth, and revealing the light to other people. And this is the only solution I know of to further ourselves, is through connection to people and systems that are synergistic. So again, thank you. I want you to come back. I hope you will accept.
I will. Yes,
Okay.
I will.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Judy.
You're
Looking
welcome.
forward to seeing you soon.
Me too.